Now we'll have a presentation. You'll see it says Pecha Kucha here on your agenda. This is for those of you who don't know, this is a presentation format developed in Japan in 2003, I believe, at a firm of architects who were tired of having the discussions go on and on and on, and so they devised a 2020. You have 20 slides, each has 20 seconds, and the slides go. And you have to give your presentation in a way that it is both visual and verbal and short. I've watched several of these presentations on YouTube preparing for this, but I've never seen it live. So here we go, Magnus. And this is not easy, believe me, to condense your but as usual, we are experimenting in all kinds of communication. And Magnus Jirström from Lund University will give the presentation.
Thank you very much. I'm also very happy to be here and happy that you invited me. I know some of the faces, but not all. I will tell you a little bit about what's going on in Lund University. As soon as I get to the desktop. And where do I get to the desktop?
We have 20 seconds.
No. First when I click. Yes, this is it. Okay. AFRINT is a research network. It's been around for several years. It's an African-Swedish research network. We are doing primary research in 9 African countries. And we're looking into intensification of staple crop production in these countries. We've been working since 2001 and are now on our 14th year in the 3rd phase of the project. And as time has passed, we have diversified our research and are now also looking into gender, income diversification, and urban agriculture. This is our partners in the 9 countries, and you can see they are mostly from universities, and they are mainly agricultural economists, but we also have sociologists, historians, geographers in the African teams. The Swedish team is basically in Lund. We are actively now some 10 to 12. Some of the members have dropped over the time, but we are roughly 10 to 12 people. We have had some great advisors during the years, and we have had some nice funding for the projects. This is why we started AFRINT. We wanted to explain the gap, why in Africa the per capita production of food was going down while it was increasing in Asia. So that's the background of the project. We also were, those of us who had been working in Asia for several years, surprised by this gloomy attitude to Africa that was very present in 2000, but which has by now changed, and which is great. Because, I mean, we had that gloom before in Asia, and we had success, and still it seems that success did not really change the mood for Africa. We think the state mechanism was the most important in Asian agricultural development. The state working through smallholders. This is the year of the smallholder, you know, and business and agribusiness. Now, the AFRINT studies, which we did after having looked at the Asian experiences, are done at different levels. At the national level, we do desk studies, and at the micro level, the village level, household levels, we do service and qualitative fieldworks. We are in 20 regions, in 100 villages roughly. The first 2 rounds have covered some 3,000–4,000. The 3rd round, we have only had finance for 4 countries, so we are doing 1,600 households. The first round of AFRINT found that the main problem at that time was an economic and political crisis, not an environmental crisis primarily, not a technological problem. It was basically bad policies and bad economics. And we said that there is a positive thing to look at, and that is the potential, the very big yield gaps in the 100 villages. You will find farmers producing roughly as good as any farmers in the world, while the majority are not. So there is a potential. After the first round, we had to work very hard to get money for the second round. That one started in 2007. Then we were able to revisit the households and in that way collect information, making it possible to study change over time. We added to the questions about incomes and have income data. And basically, we were able to find most of the households. We could see that over time, farm sizes had declined. We could see that these yield gaps I was talking about persisted. We could see that farmers kept using roughly the same level of technology, fertilizers, new seeds, and so on. When looking at individual households over time, and that's why you use longitudinal data, we could see that the main driver of maize production, which is the main staple, is commercialization. Farmers who are connected to the markets are the ones producing more. We could also see that many farmers are not selling anything, and that many farmers have no non-farm income at all. Now we are doing three different things at the same time, and the new thing, most new thing, is the African urban agriculture. We produced some books. We also reported to SIDA and had some publications. And during the past years, we have realized the importance of publishing in good scientific journals. So we spent a lot of time on that past 2 years. These are partners we work with outside the African family, in Sweden mainly with the Agricultural University. We work with Michigan State and a lot with CIRAD in Montpellier, London School of Economics, and Copenhagen and IITA in Nigeria. We visit farms and we come back 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and we of course are careful to deliver feedback to the farmers and the villagers. So this is a picture from a meeting where we go through what we found and why we want them to remain in the panel. Thank you.
I think that was extremely impressive. I'm glad I don't have to give those kind of presentations. There you go. All right. Now you've seen introductory, you know what SIANI is, what it has been, how it's evolved, what it's going to look like in the second phase, roughly. We've had some chance to have some look at the sector perspective. Now it's time for the participatory part. Which we're all very excited about at SIANI. As I say, we've been waiting a long time for this to become a reality. You will have table leaders. Who is a table leader? Hands for table leaders, okay? These are your table leaders. And the table leader will help you structure the discussion and tell you what the time slots are and that sort of thing. But you all need to elect a spokesperson. And that shouldn't be the table leader. Okay, it's a person who will then come up in the plenary and deliver the results of your group. So you decide yourselves on who that should be. And then I think, did I forget anything important? Except we have to break for lunch, and then I'll go and remind everyone individually. My only other thing is to remember the rainbow. That we can't have all green tags at one group, because they'll be the last ones to lunch then. They're the academics. Okay, so if you're sitting already at a fairly well-distributed table, feel free to stay there. And otherwise, please move around. And could table people put yourselves in one table and make sure everyone knows who you are. Anything else? Okay, go to it.